How do you feel about the exam?
I'm so, like, stressed about it.
What part are you stressed about?
The whole homeostasis thing. You got these receptors, effectors. I just don't know if I'll ever be able to, like, understand the concept.
Well, so you understand homeostasis, how your body needs to be at a stable environment, right? So I guess the easiest way to think about it is when your body's not, or your body senses that you're imbalanced, that's when it starts. So for instance, your receptors sense that you're hot or cold, and it sends info along your afferent pathways, which is to your control center in your brain. Your brain sends info along your efferent pathways, and that's what causes your effectors to either make you sweat or shiver. Sweat if you're hot, shiver if you're cold. And then your response is your body either cools off or warms up, and then you're back to your homeostasis again.
I mean, it's like easy to just memorize that, but it's like understanding it is like a whole other thing, and I don't know if I'll be able to get that down.
Yeah, I guess we should figure out maybe some examples, real life examples.
You know what, let's just take a break.
Okay.
Man, you know, I guess I get the homeostasis concept a little more after we talked about it, but I still just like, you know what, it's really hot outside. I don't know why it's so hot today. The weather forecast said it was supposed to be pretty nice today. I'm even sweating.
Don't you get it? This is a negative feedback system, basically. Your body sensed you were hot, you started sweating because you're hot. So now you have to go cool off. Your sweat is your effector.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yes.
You know what, let's go in the shade now.
Okay. It is really hot.
For real. This seems nice and cool over here. Okay. Yeah, I'm feeling better about it now, but whew, I know it's hot outside, but this shade is like a little too much.
There is a pretty big breeze.
Yeah. I think I get it now. You know, I walked over, my body sensed that it was cold, so, you know, I started shaking a little bit, pulled down, you know, got all warm. That's it.
Yes.
That's the concept. Now I'm back at homeostasis. I get it now.
Yes.
I don't know why this was so hard for me to get it, but, you know, now I understand the concept. Okay, so I totally get and understand the whole negative feedback system.
Right.
But what about the positive feedback?
Okay, so a positive feedback system example could be childbirth. So, for instance, whenever you start labor, your body releases a hormone, which is oxytocin, which causes you to have contractions. And you know, contractions is how you have the baby. That's what contracts the child. And actually, an example, they can actually do like a medical induced way, I guess, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was pregnant with my daughter, with my first daughter, I was in labor for a really long time, but I guess I wasn't contracting enough, so they gave me Pitocin, which is like a synthetic version of oxytocin, which causes your body to do the same thing. It's like oxytocin, and it causes you to contract until you have your baby, and then once you have your baby, you're back at homeostasis. No more contracting.
That makes sense. I even heard that, you know, blood clotting is an example of positive feedback. And now that I'm thinking about it, that completely, you know, makes sense to me. Because when you cut yourself, your platelets will go to the cut and try to clog it out. But basically they'll release a chemical which will cause more platelets to show up to the site of the wound.
Yeah.
And then basically once there's enough platelets there to clog up the wound, basically how you blood clot, that's when the chemical stops being released.
Right.
Bringing you back to homeostasis.
Yes. Just stop.
Where's
Just,
my damn car key
just,
again?
just, you don't have to restart it. You don't have to restart it. Just
Okay,
delete
okay.
it, you know?
Okay. Okay, so I'm
I'm sorry.
oh,
Okay.
Jesus Christ, I have to cut out like a whole fucking minute. Get it out.
All right.
Okay.